In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. My dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum. I want to speak to the heart that feels burdened today, to the soul that feels a strange, heavy pressure on its chest, to the one who looks around and feels like everything is an uphill struggle. Your relationships, your work, your inner peace, your aspirations. It feels like you're walking through sand with heavy weights on your shoulders. You ask, why is this happening to me? Am I being punished? Have I done something wrong? Listen carefully. That heaviness you feel, it is not the weight of destruction. It is the weight of construction. It is not a sign that Allah has abandoned you. It is a profound sign that Allah is moving you. My dear brothers and sisters, I want you to truly consider this feeling that has settled in your chest, this heavy, almost physical weight that seems to color your days. You wake up with it. You carry it through your prayers, a subtle distraction between you and your Qibla. You feel its drag as you go about your duties, as you try to smile, as you attempt to plan for a future that suddenly seems clouded and uncertain. This isn't the dramatic pain of a sudden calamity. No, this is different. It's a constant, low-pressure ache. It's the strain of relationships that once felt easy but now require immense effort to maintain. It's the exhaustion from a career path that once fueled your ambition, but now feels like a dead end, a source of draining obligation, rather than joyful contribution. It's the anxiety that flickers in the quiet moments, whispering doubts about your purpose, your worth, your direction. It's the profound sense that the very ground beneath your feet, the life you've carefully built, is somehow shifting, and you're struggling just to keep your balance. You look at your life, at the pieces that once fit so neatly together, and you see cracks. The routine that gave you comfort now feels like a cage. The people you thought would be with you forever have drifted, or conversations have become strained and difficult. Projects you started with passion now feel burdensome and stale. You pray, you make dua, you seek answers, and yet the heaviness remains, sometimes even intensifying. And in your heart, a quiet, desperate question begins to form. Why? What have I done to deserve this stagnation, this struggle? Is this a sign of Allah's displeasure with me? Have my sins finally caught up to me, creating this spiritual and emotional logjam? You see others seeming to move forward with ease, their lives flowing smoothly, and you wonder, why is my path so obstructed? Why does everything feel like such a struggle? My dear friends, I invite you today to perform a radical shift in perspective. I want you to reframe this entire experience. What if this weight you feel is not an anchor meant to sink you, but the necessary friction for a profound launch? What if this pressure is not a punishment from Allah, Rahman, the most merciful, but a precise, compassionate, and deliberate preparation from Al-Hakim, the all-wise? Listen with the ear of your heart. This heaviness is not the weight of destruction. It is the sacred weight of construction. It is not a sign that Allah has abandoned you to your circumstances. On the contrary, it is the most profound evidence that Allah, in His infinite wisdom and love for you, is actively, intimately involved in your life. He is moving you. Let us understand this with a tangible example. Consider, if you will, the process of moving from an old home to a new one. For years, perhaps, you have lived in this house. You know every creak in the floorboard, every patch of sun that falls on the carpet in the afternoon. The walls hold your memories, the laughter of gatherings, the quiet prayers in the corner, the milestones of your family. It is familiar, it is comfortable, it is home. But now a new chapter awaits. A better home, in a better neighborhood with more space and light has been prepared for you. The decision to move has been made by a wise provider who sees the full picture you cannot. Now, what is the process of moving? It is, by its very nature, disruptive and heavy. The first step is not the joyful arrival at the new doorstep. It is the difficult, often exhausting work of dismantling the old. You must go through every room, every cupboard, every drawer. You must handle each possession. You must make difficult decisions. What will you take with you? What have you outgrown? What belongs only to the old chapter and has no place in the new? You find relics of a past self, old clothes that no longer fit, gadgets that have become obsolete, letters from a time that has passed. Letting go is emotionally heavy. Then comes the packing. Lifting boxes, wrapping fragile items, labeling, stacking. Your comfortable, orderly home descends into chaos, a chaos of transition. Dust flies. Your muscles ache. You are surrounded by boxes, by emptiness where your furniture once was. It is disorienting. It is tiring. It is, in a word, heavy. But here is the crucial point. Is the exhaustion of moving a sign that the new house is a bad idea? Is the chaos a punishment? Is the aging back evidence that you are on the wrong path? Absolutely not. Every single ounce of that heaviness is directly, causally linked to the glorious transition you are undergoing. The weight of the box is proof that you have possessions to bring to a new place. The emotional difficulty of sorting is proof that you have lived a life rich enough to have memories. The disruption is proof that movement is happening. You would not feel any of this weight if you were simply sitting still in your old, cramped living room, going nowhere. This, my beloved brothers and sisters, is the exact metaphor for your spiritual and emotional state. The heaviness you feel is the packing and the lifting. Allah is moving you from an old life, a life that may have been comfortable but was perhaps too small for the soul He is shaping you to become, to a new life, a better destiny, a higher station. He is the divine mover. And so He is helping you dismantle the relationship that feels strained. It might be Allah carefully unpacking a connection that cannot come with you on the next leg of your journey. The career that feels unfulfilling, that may be Allah dismantling an identity you have outgrown so you can discover the work you were truly created for. The old habits, the familiar crutches, the mental frameworks that once made sense, Allah is gently or sometimes forcefully placing them in the do not take pile. He is clearing space. This process feels heavy because it is heavy. Letting go of what we know is one of the hardest human experiences. Having our foundations shaken is terrifying, but this is not random chaos. This is divinely orchestrated deconstruction. Every closed door that causes you pain is a protection from a path that would have ultimately been a dead end or a poison to your soul. Every disappointment that lands like a stone in your heart is actually creating a hollow space, a vacancy that Allah will fill with a blessing so specific and so perfect that it could only come from Him. This heaviness is the tangible feeling of your old self, your old life, being lovingly taken apart so that your new self, aligned with a quadruple destiny so beautiful you cannot yet imagine it, can be assembled. So do not despair at the weight. Recognize it for what it is, the surest sign that you are not stuck. You are in motion. Allah Himself is your mover. Trust the process even when your arms are tired from the packing. The new home illuminated by His mercy awaits. My dear brothers and sisters, let us sit with this profound reality for a moment. We have acknowledged that the heaviness is a sign of movement, a divine deconstruction. But the human heart in its vulnerability still clamors for understanding. Why this way, it asks. Why must the path be so obscured, the transition so painful? If Allah is indeed the best of providers, why does provision feel so scarce in this moment? If He is the guide, why do I feel so utterly lost? These are the whispers of our nafs, our lower self grappling with the unseen. And to these whispers, the Quran responds with a truth that is both a comfort and a command to surrender. And it may be that you dislike a thing which is good for you, and that you like a thing which is bad for you. Allah knows and you know not. A Quran 2:260. This, my friends, is the cornerstone of our trust, the unwavering belief in Allah as Al-Hakim, the All-Wise. Wisdom is not merely knowledge. It is the perfect application of knowledge toward a perfect objective. When we describe Allah as Al-Hakim, we affirm that every single decree, every single particle of movement in our lives, especially the difficult, heavy movements, is infused with a wisdom that is complete, beautiful, and ultimately for our benefit. Our limited human vision is like that of a person standing with their nose pressed against a vast, intricate tapestry. All they can see is a single, tangled knot of thread on the backside. The colors seem muddy, the pattern is incomprehensible, and it looks like a mess. From this myopic vantage point, they might cry out, "This is ugly! This is a mistake! This knot is too tight! This thread is the wrong color!" But Al-Hakim is the master weaver, standing before the finished side of the tapestry. He sees the breathtaking masterpiece in its entirety, the grand design, the harmonious blending of colors, the way this very knot of hardship is essential to creating a shadow that gives depth to a rose, or a line that defines a majestic mountain in the panorama of your life. That closed door you wept before, the one that represented a cherished dream. That was Al-Hakim. He knew that behind that door lay a path that would have narrowed your soul, that would have fed your ego but starved your spirit, that would have led you to a destination far beneath your true potential. Your tears watered the ground of your patience, and he, in his wisdom, was already planting the seed of a better dream, one aligned with your true purpose. That disappointment that felt like a betrayal, the one that made you question your judgment, that was Al-Hakim. He was dismantling your reliance on a created thing, on a person, on an outcome, so that you would have no place to turn but to him. He was creating a vacuum in your heart so profound that only his love, his company could fill it. He empties us only to enrich us with something far greater. This feeling of being lost, of your internal compass spinning wildly. This too is a manifestation of divine wisdom. You feel lost because your old map, the one you drew with your own limited desires and understanding, is being rendered obsolete. Allah is not just moving you to a new house within the same old neighborhood. He is relocating you to an entirely new continent of experience and faith. Of course, the old landmarks are gone. Of course, the familiar roads no longer lead where you need to go. This disorientation is not abandonment. It is the prerequisite for a new kind of guidance. You are being taught to navigate by a different star, the star of Tawakkul, reliance on Allah and divine decree. You are learning to say, "I do not know the way, but you are my guide. I cannot see the destination, but I trust the one who is leading me there." Therefore, the very essence of navigating this heavy transition is to submit to this wisdom. It is to trade in our frantic why. For a serene, "I trust in your wisdom," it is to understand that our role is not to dictate the blueprint of our new life, but to be the willing, trusting clay in the hand of the master potter. He knows the pressures needed to shape you. He knows which parts must be hollowed out to make you a vessel that can hold his blessings. He knows the exact temperature of the kiln, the trials that will glaze you with strength and beauty. Your rebellion against the process, your insistence that you know a better, easier way only prolongs the heaviness. Your surrender to Al-Hakim, even through tears, transforms the weight from a burden into a sanctifying force. So when the confusion mounts and the plan makes no sense to your logical mind, remember, you are operating with a child's understanding of a complex mathematical equation. Al-Hakim is the grand mathematician. Every variable, every moment of delay, every painful subtraction is part of solving for an answer of ultimate goodness, an answer called your eternal success. Your trust is not blind faith. It is the logical choice of a believer who recognizes that the Creator's wisdom infinitely surpasses the creature's perception. He is not just moving you randomly. He is moving you with precision, with purpose, with a wisdom that encompasses your past, your present, your future, and the unseen realms of your soul. Your job is not to see the plan, but to trust the planner. For he knows, and you know not. And in that admission lies your peace, and the beginning of your weight becoming wings.